Alrighty, y'all. I wanted to come in and do just a little tutorial to show how I make sew-in tags for things like the bags that I'm working on, or clothing and stuff like that. Tags can be pretty expensive, so I like to make my own, and it works for me. I've used this method before. What I have here, let's just go ahead and get started. You can't see my face, and I'm not going to sit here and make you stare at this forever, but I have a piece of muslin fabric here, and what I did was, this is a iron-on transfer, like you would use for a t-shirt or something. I don't buy these at Walmart because I don't find the quality to be as good. They peel a lot, they're hard to work with. This I bought online, and it is a better quality iron-on. I think I got it at Label something. I'll post a link once I get the video up. As you can see, this is printed backwards. I created the design for Dear Julian, and I used a photograph of Julian that I went in and made into a kind of a black and white, almost looks like an ink drawing or something. Can you see that? Let me see backwards. Turn the page over and you can see. But what I'm going to do is, I've already ironed this piece of muslin, and since these are so small and cut printed so close together, I like to do it that way because it saves on this paper. It can get fairly expensive. I ordered it in bulk a long time ago from that company, so I had plenty of sheets of it. But what I'm going to do is go in and cut them out, and so that they won't be so close, because it's not going to work if I just iron this whole sheet on and then cut them out. For the purpose that I'm using it for, I need them to be separated just a little bit. So I'm going to cut a few of these out and then come back and show you what I'm going to do next. Alrighty, now you can see I've got quite a few of these cut out. What I'm going to do is, with the back side facing up, I'm going to space them maybe 1.5 inches apart, leaving plenty of room on the sides and, you know, all around, because this is going to be a sew-in tag, so we want to have plenty of room to sew that on to a garment or a handbag, or, you know, whatever you're going to use it for. You can see I've got these spaced apart. I've got 16 of them right here, and I've got it zoomed in a little bit so you can see a little better. What I have is another piece of muslin, just a scrap piece, and I'm going to carefully lay it on top so that I don't move any of these labels from where I have them. And I'm going to take a hot iron. You don't want your iron to be too hot, but you want it to be hot enough. Just give that iron a little bit of pressure, rub it on there, and get them good and hot so that they peel off. The backing peels off easily. If you take the piece of muslin off and you do this with the iron, you just want to do it very quickly. You don't want to leave that iron on there too much time. You can kind of tell when they're sticking to the fabric, and you know that you've got it right. I've got my iron on the wool setting, so it's not set as high as it can go, because I don't want to take the chance of burning these up. Probably if I had a lot more business and I could afford it, I would order my own labels from Etsy sellers or from another company, but it's just not cost effective. This is a really, really inexpensive way to make your own labels, and they don't look bad. I swear they don't. You could use a dark transfer and a dark fabric if you choose to. I just have never tried it that way. Okay, and you just want to let them cool for just a little bit. I've already got most of these peeled off. I wanted to come in and show you. This is the end result, and you will just let them cool down a little bit. I don't know about letting them cool all the way. I usually wait until they're almost just a little warm to the touch, and I'll peel them. But if you feel like they're not sticking, just leave it alone and take the iron and go back over it a couple of times. This is just the easiest thing to do. I mean, it's nice because you get to kind of work with your own creativeness. But you got a lot of creative freedom with doing this on your own. Okay, we've got those on there. So what I'm going to do is cut this strip out, and I'm going to cut about 3/4 of an inch away from the edge of the last ones that I put on there. You want to leave plenty of room because the next step is going to really make them pop. I have the labels cut out, and you can see there what the end result is. Now what I'm going to do is go in with my sewing machine and make a small zigzag all around the edges. So I'm going to do that, and I'll come back and show you how that turns out. Now you can see the difference in the finished tags and the unfinished tags. This is a finished one. This is the unfinished one, and it looks so much neater. And what you would do is you can take these and sew them all the way around the edges to the inside of the garment or the bag, or you can just sew through the top. They work for me. I like the way they look. It makes the product look more handmade because you make every element of it, including the tags. And I also made, what I'm going to use for hang tags is this sheet right here, which I went in with a business card template and made these. And I'm going to cut them out, punch a hole in them, and, you know, hang them with tie ribbon around through the hole and around the zipper of a bag, or however I'm going to do it. But it just has a little friendly note on there about the business with the Etsy address. So that's how I do it, all handmade. I do want to say that when you sew these, go very slow. They're small, and you could hurt yourself if you use a high speed on your sewing machine, or you could really mess them up. The machine might grab it and push it down in there in the bobbin area, but just take your time with sewing that. And you probably really don't need the no fray when you do that zigzag stitch, but if you're going to leave them raw like this, I would really suggest putting some no fray around the edges and let it dry good before you go to sew it into the fabric. So that's it. That's my way of making clothing tags. So hope you enjoyed. Peace, y'all. Bye bye.